one of the biggest derelictions of duty that some people in the media apparatus have done is elevate the idea, the wishcasting as we like to call it, the idea that on some level Joe Biden wasn't going to be the Democratic nominee.
This is the 411 with Jessica Washington. Today I'm on with Symone Sanders Townsend, host of MSNBC's The Weekend. Thank you so much for being here.
So happy to be here.
And I want to start with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson.
Ooh.
He now is the Republican gubernatorial candidate. How did we get here?
Mark Robinson, some like to say that he traffics in conspiracy theories. He is a conspiracy theorist, right? He has said a number of crazy things. Let me just read them to you. He has
Please
called
go ahead.
homosexuality and transgenderism filth, and then defended it when critics called for his resignation. He's made anti-Semitic remarks about Hollywood trying to control Black people. He agreed with the false theory that Jewish people control the banks. He questioned the legitimacy of the Holocaust. And Donald Trump endorsed him for the role.
I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
So that is the...
Donald Trump called him MLK on steroids.
Which is insane and an affront to the legacy of the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Do you think that we're going to continue to see Black candidates who are really trafficking? And also we had Vivek, obviously, so candidates of color in general, and Nikki Haley, arguably have been trafficking in some of these kinds of racist tropes. Are we going to continue to see that, do you think?
Jessica, I think that is an excellent question, right? Like Hershel Walker, where has he been since Georgia? Hershel Walker, you
haven't heard that name in a while.
Exactly. I think the difference between Hershel Walker and Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is that Hershel Walker is someone that Republicans literally went and, got him from his home in Texas, asked him to come back to his hometown in Georgia to run. And the Republican Party in Georgia literally thought, and frankly, the Republicans who do Senate campaign recruiting, thought that Hershel Walker is a name that folks know. He's Black, he played football, and he could be a different kind of candidate that maybe would attract Black voters. I want to note, Black voters did not choose Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. The Republican electorate in North Carolina is, when it comes to like Black voters voting, it is but a fraction, okay? So that Black people did not say Mark Robinson is our candidate. But I do think it's interesting, this idea of representation, right? We always say that representation matters, and it does. I would argue that the follow-up to that is substantive representation matters.
Trump and Biden are going to be our nominees, for this, it's 2020 all over again. It feels like deja vu. I guess, a lot of people don't like that. Let's just, be honest about that. Is there something that should have happened differently this cycle so we didn't have this exact repeat?
One of the biggest derelictions of duty that some people in the media apparatus have done is elevate the idea, the wishcasting as we like to call it, the idea that on some level Joe Biden wasn't going to be the Democratic nominee. You're trying to tell me the man that has wanted to be the president of the United States of America since 1988, who has ran 3 different times, lost twice, okay, in a primary, on the 3rd try gets to, not only wins the primary, becomes a Democratic nominee, but beats Donald Trump, and then does all of these things, vaccinates America, finally has infrastructure week, $7 billion to HBCUs, building things, that he is just gonna say, all right, I'm gonna just pack it up and go home. So it's not realistic.
Should the party have said to Biden, we don't see this enthusiasm for you?
I have a smirk on my face because it's not how it works. And I think that when we talk about politics amongst ourselves as, the American people, we like to traffic in hypotheticals a lot. We just have to speak to the people and the facts. And the facts are that, that's not a plausible scenario. And so why are we having a magic wand conversation? Should the people have gotten together with Biden and told him that doesn't happen. It literally doesn't happen. Now, if there was a ailment that the president of the United States had, if he was sick, if he was unhealthy, if he had if there was something physically wrong with him, then I think that is a very plausible scenario of people going to him early on and saying something to him. But that's not the facts. The facts are it's Donald Trump and it's Joe Biden. So the question is, are voters going to come out for that?